So I have a number of items with this Javva the Hutt logo on it. For those of you who are not aware, Javva the Hutt for many years has been the sort of on-site cafe at Lucasfilm, and I guess I've had this logo for a while. They used this on merchandise at one of the celebrations recently, which is where I got this mug, as I recall. Well, I mean, that's how it became to be, and I didn't get it at Celebration. It says here Industrial Latte Magic instead of Industrial Light and Magic. It's kind of clever. I do enjoy, I like this whole thing. I've got several mugs like this. I've got a shirt like this. I've shown this on the channel before, I believe. But what I didn't have was the sort of original painting logo on any merchandise, and that's much more hard to find. I've never actually seen one until now. But just recently, I did manage to get a t-shirt with that logo on it. Here it is. We have Jabba, or Javva, with a piping hot cup of coffee, and he's on a hill of coffee beans, it looks like. And I think this is, if I can find it, I'll put it up on screen, but I believe this is the actual painting that they have at the actual cafe at Lucasfilm. So very cool to finally get one of these. I think maybe they sell these t-shirts at the cafe, but you have to actually go there, and it's not even open to the public, so it's like not easy to get these. You might have to be somehow connected to Lucasfilm in order to finally get one, so excited to get one of those. So this next item I was originally going to make a full video about, but I decided to not do that for various reasons. But basically it's a knockoff Lego set for a Jabba Brickheadz style figure, kind of a super deformed Lego figure. I got this on eBay, although it's also been on AliExpress and other places as well. When I got it, I kind of naively thought that maybe that the people selling it had come up with this design, but as I found out later, not only were they using fake Lego to make the set, they also stole the actual design from someone else. The actual design was made by Custom Instructions, who is on Instagram, and they also have their own website that sells custom instructions for Lego. Lots of really cool designs, I'll have to say. And I felt bad after I found that out, so I went ahead and bought the instructions from them directly as well. It was only like $5 or $6, something like that. So I will say, if you do decide to pick this kind of set up, which I can't really recommend because you're kind of benefiting the people who are ripping other people off, but on the other hand, you get pretty much all the pieces you would need to make a full set, which would be kind of a big deal if you don't have a large stock of Lego pieces on hand. If you tried to get them all from Bricklink or something, it would be somewhat expensive. So if you do decide to get it from, eBay or AliExpress, I would highly recommend that you actually buy the instructions from the designer. But in any case, here is the actual finished piece. It's an interesting looking piece, heftier than I would have thought, bigger, and kind of cute too. Look at that. One thing I will say, though, that the people who made the kit that I bought ended up using two different colors of green, which is not really supposed to be the way it is. I don't know why exactly. They just maybe they didn't have enough. Oops, I broke part of it off. They didn't have enough of the one color of green or something, or maybe it's just quality control issues. I don't know. And they also substituted these two pieces. They were supposed to be in green. They made them gray, which doesn't look fantastic, although I guess it could be worse. I will say the act of building this set was not quite as enjoyable as I am kind of used to with Lego, because the way they have you build it, you kind of build it in sections, but none of the sections actually attach to each other until the very end, when you kind of all put everything together on top of this base, which has a section, which I can take off, that kind of attaches the figure to the base. And so it was frustrating because you had all of the pieces were kind of shifting around all the time while I was trying to build it. And in that sense, maybe not the most enjoyable build, but still not difficult, certainly. So I just thought I would show that off. And, you know, I was originally going to make like a time lapse of me building it, but it turned out that because of what I just explained about how everything was kind of shifting around, it didn't look good at all. So I gave up on that. But in any case, definitely an interesting little kit. And as I say, I should recommend that you check out Custom Instructions sets, or, you know, instruction sets, because they have a lot of cool Star Wars related things, including some other things from Jabba's Palace as well, like a Gamorrean Guard. So that's about it for this one. So this next item is going to require a little bit of explanation, I think. I've made a whole video about my life-size Jabba the Hutt bust, or it's really a wall hanging, based on the actual latex skin that was used in Return of the Jedi. And I got it from John Coppinger, who's the guy who sculpted that original puppet for Return of the Jedi. So it's, you know, about as close as you can get to an actual life-size Jabba without, well, basically that's it. I mean, that's the only link we have to the original puppet, which is long since deteriorated. So if you're interested, I suggest you look at that video to get a little bit more background. But long story short, I got that over 10 years ago, and John is no longer making those. But there is an artist in the U.S. who apparently has permission from John to kind of recreate them, and he's using the same, or a cast of the same sculpt to make his own version of life-size Jabba plaques. When I saw that, I was interested because one thing I didn't like about sort of John's version of the plaque, he had two versions of it, one of which I got, which is the sort of carbonite version. It's just metallic looking. And then he had a life-size, I mean, a life-like painted version. And the painted version, because of the way the casting was made, just had wide open eyes that were just painted. Whereas the actual puppet of Jabba had a 3D eye inside with a lens over it and moving eyelids and so forth. A lot more depth there. And one thing that Wes Coke, who is the guy who was making this new version, did was to sculpt his own version of Jabba's eye and incorporate that into the life-size plaques. I can't, afford to buy a new life-size Jabba, and I have no place to put one. But I was pretty intrigued by the eye. I've always liked Jabba's eyes. So I got in contact with him and asked him if he would be willing to just sort of sell me one eye, essentially, as an art piece on its own. And he agreed. So this is what I got. Now, this, when it arrived, it actually had split into a couple of pieces somehow. It looks like, based on what I talked with Wes about, that the acrylic layer here may have kind of deformed or something, because it was originally totally flush, I guess, with this on both sides. But anyway, just to explain what's going on here, we have a resin cast thing that has all the detail for the eye in it, and then that's been painted. Then he's got an acrylic lens on the top. And then on the outside, this is a kind of a rubber, spongy kind of rubber casting that he has made himself of Jabba's eyelids. So a lot of different things going on here in terms of different materials and so forth. But I think, especially if you look at it from a little bit of distance away, it is very realistic looking, I think. So I was really happy to finally get something like this in my collection. Of course, there have been pieces of Jabba's eyes sold at auction in the past, way out of my price range, of course, but this allows me to get a little bit of something like that. I'll put Wes's information in the description below. I think just contacting him on Instagram is probably the easiest way to do it. He does, I guess, still make the full-sized ones on sort of a commission basis, or I think he'd be willing to make an eye for people too, from what I understand, if you're interested. So just thought I would show that off. I think it's really cool looking. Next up, we have something that someone who follows me on Instagram sent to me a little while ago. It is a baby Rancor made, I guess, originally from Sculpey, although I think Mighty Kane, that's the name of the user who sent it to me, all the way from the UK, by the way. I think he said that he made a run of these, so I assume they weren't all made out of Super Sculpey. Maybe he, you know, cast them or something. I'm not sure of all the details there. But I thought this was pretty well done, and he sent me one, not just one, but also two miniature Rancors. These are kind of two different interpretations of the baby Rancor idea, I guess. So I thought this was definitely well done, and very cool too that they would offer to send them to me just, for free. Well, hello there. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I really like these. And I guess, with the Bad Batch and Moochie, the baby Rancor, it seems like I think he got this idea before that happened, and then he kind of decided to redo. I don't remember. I think this one came first, and then he kind of redid it. But anyway, pretty cool little figures. I'll put a link to his Instagram page in the video description. Next up, we have something I found on eBay originally, although I didn't get it there. This was being sold by a seller on eBay for the full price, I guess, of $40. But with my eagle eye for detail, I noticed that it had a little Amazon exclusive badge on it. So I just went to Amazon and did a little searching around, and I think I searched for Adventure Across the Galaxy and found it there for like $18. So I got it there. It's a set of pins, sort of Tatooine themed pins. They also have some other ones from other planets as well, I believe. I'll put a link to this in the video description. This comes in a little sort of display box, I guess you'd say, with a plastic cover on it, and then it's got, a stand on the back. It's a little flimsy feeling, if I'm honest. Not a big fan of this case, really, but the actual pins themselves seem okay. We've got a Bantha, an Explore Tatooine travel poster, Rancor, a Cantina Band poster, I guess, a Jawa, and of course the one that kind of attracted me to this in the first place was Jabba himself. Now this Jabba artwork here was something that kind of confused me for a while on another product, something I haven't actually shown on the channel, I think. A while back, a number of months ago, I got this pair of Jabba swimming trunks. This is made by a company called Chubbies, and it features, basically just a repeating pattern of Jabba on hot pink, which, makes them clearly the best swimming trunks in the history of the world. But I was interested to look at all the different Jabbas they have here. Many of them, like this one here, is definitely the Sideshow Jabba that they've just kind of traced. This one here is definitely the Black Series Jabba, although it's been flipped. So, there are a lot of things where I can recognize where it comes from, just from little tells in the details and everything. But I couldn't figure out where this one came from. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. I'm still not sure where the original thing I saw it from was, but I was very interested that they used that exact same design for this pin. You can see that there. Anyway, kind of an interesting little set, and interesting too that Amazon is releasing their own exclusive pins now for Star Wars, which I don't recall them doing before. This, I think, is the first Amazon exclusive Jabba item that I've gotten, so it's kind of interesting too. Finally, I'm going to be showing off some of my own merchandise, which is a little bit of an unusual thing for me. When I opened my Etsy shop, as I described in my last video, to sell the Visible Hutt figures, which, by the way, sold out in less than 5 minutes, and I think they would have sold out faster, but Etsy was having some issues where they weren't showing the page right away after I had it go live. So anyway, went very fast, and I will be making at least another run of those sometime in the future. I also decided to put up some sort of channel merch like this, some stickers. Like this is a small, Mighty Jabba's Collection logo sticker, and this is the same design as a slightly larger magnet. It's a thin sheet magnet. A number of people, my supporters on Patreon in particular, and other people as well, bought some of these from me, and I thought, it would be nice to have something that's a little bit bigger and more impressive than this. So one thing I did was to make a sticker of the Visible Hutt design. This is the exact same artwork that I used on the box for the figure, and it was originally, the idea was that it would be life-sized, although I ended up getting the sizing a little wrong, and it's a little bit too small, but it's still pretty impressively large. So, if you can't afford the actual life-size Jabba, or you can't get one or whatever, I mean, the visible figure, that is, you could get one of these as kind of a consolation prize, I suppose. I also made a couple of larger versions of those tiny stickers I just showed. This one is a sticker actually life-sized, basically. And then this is the magnet version. These magnets you can put on something like a refrigerator, of course, but supposedly Sticker Mule, the people who made these for me, claim that these will stand up to the elements fairly well, so you can actually put them on a car as a kind of a bumper sticker kind of thing, but it's removable because it's a magnet. So I'm going to be putting these on the store by the time you see this video. I'll put a link to them in the video description. I also have a close-up of just Jabba's face on a sticker as well. So if you're interested, check these out, or if you're going to be trying to get the next run of Visible Jabba figures, Visible Hutt figures, I should say, you can maybe think about picking one of these up at the same time. That's about it for today's pickup video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. This video was brought to you with the help of my Patreon supporters, including these Palace VIPs right here and Angelica Brady. Thanks very much for your support, everyone. If you'd like to see how you can support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, click the link in the video description.